I always recommend a tarpaulin pond for starters. Even for experienced farmers or bigger farms, I always recommend a tarpaulin, because one factor that people don't normally consider when they are about to start a farm, a fish farm or any livestock farm, is the amount that they pump in setup. Setup is not going to fetch you money anytime soon, so you have to try to reduce the setup cost and rather invest in your production cost, buying quality feed. And tarpaulin pond will help you achieve that. It is very cheap. You can also decide to fold and reassemble at any point in time. So I always recommend the tarpaulin pond. Yes.
Joshua, let's discuss the type of ponds used in fish farming. At least I know there are about 4 of them that people use regularly. Can you tell me about them, and then let's discuss the differences, the uses, and all of that.
Okay, so we have about 4 types of ponds: the earthen pond, the concrete pond, the tarpaulin pond, and the plastic ponds. The plastic, a typical example is this type of pond. This is a typical example of a plastic pond. It is made out of plastic material. It also comes in form of storage tanks, the poly tanks, like half of a poly tank. Yes. So this is what I use here for my hatchery. So it's a 1,000-liter tank that I've cut into 2 sections just to utilize it raw. Yes.
So it means you can use it as a full 1,000-liter.
Yes, you
without
can use
cutting it into 2.
Yes, you can use it as a full 1,000-liter. This is because I'm using it for hatchery, and hatchery, the fries don't really require much depth. So I need to just cut into 2 and then make use of it.
So with the plastic type, is it just used for hatchery, or it can be used for the grow out and then the nursery fishes?
So it can be used for grow out as well, just that it doesn't contain much water. So using it for grow out, you wouldn't stock many fishes in it. So
for the 1,000-liter, for instance, how many?
It can stock only 90 fishes to maturity. So looking at how expensive it is, this 1,000-liter tank can cost you around 1,200 Ghana cedis. Whereas a tarpaulin pond, that will cost you the same amount, can stock probably 500 fishes or 350 fishes. Yes.
So in terms of cost and then the number of fishes you can raise in the plastic and then a tarpaulin pond, it means that the tarpaulin is a better deal.
Yes. But in terms of durability, the plastic is always there up there.
All right. So we've talked about plastic. What was the next one? Earthen?
Earthen pond, yes. So this is an example of an earthen pond. An earthen pond is constructed by excavating the ground to create some form of a pit, and then you fill in the water just as you see here. In some cases, you have to do bagging. The bagging means preventing the walls from collapsing, or like from breaking in. So you use the sandbags to prevent the erosion and all that from getting the ponds to break in. All
right, so I noticed that in one of your ponds you have the sandbags covering the whole of the inside.
Yes, exactly. It is not necessary when you afford about 30 degrees or 30 to 40 degrees curve. And then also depends on the type of soil that you have available. Yes.
So what kind of soil do you need to have so that you don't have to put the sandbags?
Preferably a clay.
That can hold the water.
Yes, that can hold the water. And then, the sandy soil tends to, do I say brittle? But it tends to wash away when you fill the pond with water. But then the clay can hold very well. So
in the case of the earthen pond, it means that you need available land and space. You need to dig.
Yes, you need to dig. It requires manual labor to dig, and then the difference between the earthen and then the plastic. Yes, the plastic that I earlier explained is that the earthen pond, when you're about to harvest, you would have to extract all the water, to pump all the water out and then get in. That is what most farmers are not really comfortable with. You have to get inside the mud, fish your fishes out, and then that's it. So the earthen pond is easy to culture the fishes in. The fishes also have extra source of food the worms, the phytoplanktons, the fishes feed on it. So they tend to feel comfortable in the earthen pond. But when harvesting, that is where the work actually comes in.
So the major challenge with harvesting in an earthen pond is you need to drain the water.
Yes.
When you drain that water, does it go waste?
It goes waste. It goes waste. You need to pump all the water out and then fetch the fishes manually, like scoop nets to just harvest your fishes.
Okay. So in that case, how long do you tend to keep your water before you do that?
So in the earthen ponds, they are most preferably constructed in waterlogged area with a waterlogged area where there is exchange of water. I mean, fresh water coming inside the pond and some leaving or going outside the pond. You don't need to worry about changing water. Or if you have any stream closer by, you can just create an inlet and then an overflow. Yeah. So it creates some form of simultaneous inflow and then outflow of water. You don't need to worry. But in situations like this, at my backyard, occasionally I can pump about 40%, 50% out and then top it up, probably a month or 2 months. But again, I am using probiotics as well in this pond. So I don't need to worry about pumping the water out.
Unless you have these huge grow outs, adults ready for
sale,
then you do that.
Yeah, you definitely have to pump out.
So we've talked about the plastic, we've talked about the earthen. I see you have a lot of
ponds here.
Tarpaulins here.
Yes.
Can you tell me about the tarpaulin too?
Yes, sure.
So I see you have a lot of the tarpaulin ponds around. Tell me a bit about it. Why do you like using it? Okay, so
the tarpaulin ponds have so many advantages. As in, they are movable. You just have to remove the joint. You can take it wherever you want to take your ponds to, unlike the earthen ponds that when you dig, you are stuck there. When you want to relocate, you'll have to dig another one. With the tarpaulin ponds, you can just collapse your pond and then relocate. It is also cost effective. They are less expensive as compared to the plastic pond. So the tarpaulin ponds comes in so many sizes. It can be constructed in different sizes, different shapes as well. A square tank like what we have here. This is a square tank, and this has a dimension of 10 by 10 feet. So you can as well customize to any size that you want.
Can it be bigger than the 10 by 10?
Yeah, it can be bigger than 10 by 10, whether 10 by 20, any size that you want to construct. You can construct a tarpaulin any shape that you want. Yes.
So you even have a circular.
Yes, circular ones as well. This is a rectangular one that we have here as well. And the tarpaulin comes in so many materials, just as I said. It comes in HDPE material. That is what I use for tarpaulin constructions. We have other materials that they use for shading, covering of big trucks, long vehicles and all that. Those materials are not UV resistant. So if you use that for tarpaulin pond construction, over time the tarpaulin or the material starts breaking off and then you lose your tarpaulin. So you always have to ensure you go in for HDPE material.
And the UV resistance, because it's always in the sun.
Exactly.
It protects it too.
Yes.
So we've seen that the tarpaulin ponds too, like you said, you can easily put it together, collapse it, and then take it wherever you want to.
Yes.
So in comparison to the earthen one, if you are one that do not have that big a space or would be moving in maybe some number of years, it would be a better option.
To go in for the tarpaulin, yes, it would be a better option.
And in terms of cost too, it's more cost effective.
Yes.
There's also, you mentioned the concrete type of pond too.
Yes. So
that one, I know you don't have it here, but we can still talk about it.
Yes, the concrete ponds are mainly constructed by arranging bricks in layers to get the required height and then shape. It can also be constructed in several shapes, the square, the rectangular, the circular ponds. It can also be constructed just as the tarpaulin, but then the concrete ponds are more expensive as compared to the tarpaulin pond. A tarpaulin pond of, let's say, 5 by 10 can cost you about 50% lesser than what the concrete pond can cost you.
Yes. That's significant.
Yes. So I personally am not a fan of concrete pond because of the cost that it comes with. And maintenance-wise, scrubbing a tarpaulin is much easier than scrubbing a concrete. You understand? So cleaning becomes much easier with the tarpaulin pond as compared to the concrete ponds that we use.
Okay. That's good to know. So at least we have an overview of the various type of ponds. In your experience, which of these ponds have you used, and which ones would you recommend to someone who is starting out?
I always recommend a tarpaulin pond for starters. Even for experienced farmers or bigger farms, I always recommend a tarpaulin, because one factor that people don't normally consider when they are about to start a farm, a fish farm or any livestock farm, is the amount that they pump in setup. Setup is not going to fetch you money anytime soon, so you have to try to reduce the setup cost and rather invest in your production cost, buying quality feed. And tarpaulin pond will help you achieve that. It is very cheap. You can also decide to fold and reassemble at any point in time. So I always recommend the tarpaulin pond.
But apart from the tarpaulin pond, which ones have you used, and then how has it been?
I've also used the earthen pond. Yes, but I've not used the concrete pond. Yes, I have farms that I've set up concrete ponds for, but I personally, I don't use the concrete ponds.
It's good to know the type of ponds we can use. So it's 4 types: the tarpaulin, the plastic, the concrete, and then the earthen. Each of them have the advantages and disadvantages. So every one who wants to venture into this needs to explore what these advantages and disadvantages are, and then decide based on that. That's good to know. Joshua, in every business, there are challenges and then successes, right? What are some of the common challenges one should expect to face or may experience when they venture into fish farming?
So one of the common challenge that I have experienced or I've seen, witnessed people face is the issue of availability of water. Availability of quality water, I should say, because there might be water around, but then it will not be quality enough for fish farming. So water is one challenge that people mostly face when they set up their farm. This is because people might fail to assess the water situation in the area before venturing into the business, and fishes live their entire life in water. So water is very key in fish farming. Another challenge that I've seen people go through is let's say where to channel their wastewater to, which is very, very important as well, as equally important as you getting the quality water for your fishes. So where to channel your wastewater to is an issue that people mostly face, which is why our RAS system, the RAS system, and then the probiotic system helps people to solve these challenges, because you don't get to change water. That means you don't have to worry about where to drain your water to. You don't want to have to worry about constantly demanding for water for your fishes. Another challenge that cuts across the entire aquaculture industry in Ghana is the feed prices. Feed prices are always skyrocketing, and then it makes farmers really, really struggle as to make enough profit or to meet their expected profit margin. So some of the ways you can help curb off these challenges as well, going for this supplementary feeding, the Azola, the water hyacinth, the water lily, just to reduce the amount of feed that you buy in your production cycle.
So there's inadequate water supply, then the waste drainage of the water. Feed is also a problem. Is there any other problem?
And as well, marketing is another challenge that most people face in the aquaculture industry.
Marketing? How is that a challenge?
So most people fail to locate their potential buyers, or fail to locate buyers after their production cycle. This is as a result of poor market survey.
When you've gone to touch on my matter. In the past, we tried something like that. We tried a maize farm. I think you have a good point with that. We didn't look for a ready market before we went into it. So when we harvested the maize and we're ready to sell, we didn't have a ready market to sell, and then those who were ready to buy were giving us their price, and it meant a total loss.
Yeah.
So it means that to be able to have the right source of market, you need to do your market survey.
Yes. As well, after the market survey, you can patronize renowned farm hatcheries to patronize, to buy your fingerlings from. And after your production cycle, who knows, they may help you in selling off your fishes. You have to also move out there to search for your potential market, potential buyers. You can visit the grills, you can visit the market women, you can visit the restaurants.
That's
and
true.
I believe with that done, you definitely get a buyer even before your fishes are ready.
Okay, so with what you've just said, in your case, say I bought fingerlings from you. Now they are adult and ready for sale, and I'm not getting anyone to buy them. I can still contact you,
yes,
and then you would link me to a source to be able to do that.
Because the early that you sell your fishes, you come back to me to buy another fingerling. So definitely I must help you in selling off your fish.
So it becomes a very good cycle that you work with.
Yes,
okay, so we've touched on a number of these challenges. We've talked about the marketing, the inadequate supply of water, disposing of the water. I think I've missed out on one.
The drainage.
The drainage of the water. There's one more that we touched on. And then the feed.
Yes, the feed.
Yes. These are the major problems. I think you even propose solutions for we've talked about solutions for almost all of them. But the inadequate supply of water.
Yes.
How can that be solved?
So with a system like what we use here, that is the RAS or the bioflux system that we use here, sorry, the probiotic system that we use here, you know, you just have to fill your water once. So you worry about filling your water once, and that is it. You don't have to worry about draining the water out until you are ready to harvest, and you don't have to worry about refilling the water or changing the water every 2 to 3 days, as people do in the conventional way of culturing fish. So that is a clear solution to water challenges in fish farming. Okay.
Does Jakdam provide setups for that?
Yes, we provide setups for that. We are well known for water management systems for fish farm.
Okay. All right. So we've touched on some challenges. We've touched on some solutions to them. Clearly, every business would face their challenges, but it doesn't mean that it's all gloomy. There is definitely benefits for going into or venturing into fish farming. Can you tell us about some that you have experienced personally, and generally those you've dealt with, they also experience?
Okay, so the most obvious one is obviously the profit that I make out of fish farming.
Yeah.
You are guaranteed 30% profit margin if done right.
If done right.
Yes, if done right.
Okay.
If done right. And as well, the exposure. Yes, fish farming has given me personally an exposure to the outside world that maybe some other farmers or someone wouldn't be, or I wouldn't have if I didn't venture into fish farming. And then as well, community. I've been able to build a community, a strong community of like-minded people, people interested in fish farming, not only fish farming but agri at large. So yes, the community that helps a lot. It helps a lot.
I think one key one too is you have the opportunity to employ people.
Exactly.
So you are also impacting some way, somehow on the society. You are helping with the economy too.
Yes. That is very true.
Okay. So profitability first, if done right.
Yes.
And then you get a lot of exposure. You get to meet other fish farmers and people in the value chain.
Yes.
Okay. So it means that if I start with fingerlings, along the line I could decide I'm going to focus on hatchery. I'm going to focus on maybe just grilling.
Yes.
I'm not going to go through the hassle of getting a tarpaulin or anything. I'll just buy when it's ready and then grill.
Yeah.
It's a whole value chain. And I even hear some people even use it for sausage and things. So
yes.
The value chain is wide if you want to venture into it.
Exactly.
Okay. It's good to know all of these. You spoke about training. How often do you provide training?
So we have 2 types of training at Jakdam Farms.
Okay.
We have the online training and then the in-person training.
Okay.
So the in-person training, we organize group training every month. The ending of every month, we organize group training where people from within Ghana, outside Ghana comes for fish farming training.
Okay.
Yes, and then we have the personalized training section. That is individuals requesting for training.
Okay.
We train only them, or we move to their farm to train their staff. Yes.
Okay.
So these are the type of trainings that we offer.
Okay.
And then when it comes to the value chains, we offer hatching training. We train people on hatching. We also train people on grow out production. That is buying the fingerlings and growing them to mature sizes. We also do processing. We train you on how to smoke your fishes, how to grow your fishes and all that. Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned that you have it once in a month, the group one.
Yes.
So are there specific dates for each month or days in the month?
Mostly we organize the trainings the last week of every month, the last weekend of every month.
Last weekend of every month.
Yes.
Okay. And you mentioned online. So if someone is not in Ghana, is in anywhere in Africa or anywhere in the world, they can join?
Yes, they can join our training sections. You can register by logging on to our website, www.jakdamfarmlife.com.
Okay.
You can register for the online and in-person, as well as consultations. You can request for consultations. You can buy fish farming input, the feed, the fishes, scoop nets, pumps, all on the website as well.
Okay, okay. And I'm sure your contacts and socials are on the website, and anyone who wants to reach you. So we are in the month of February as we talking now. On which date is this month's training? Okay,
this month's training is on 22nd to 23rd. It's a 2-day intensive training, practical training on catfish farming.
Okay, okay. So if someone wants to register, they need to go on the website, or can they call a number, or it needs to be done on the website?
You can register on the website. You can call my number, as well. That is 0248570441. You can as well send us message on our social media handles.
Okay.
That is Jakdam Farms on Instagram, on TikTok, and on YouTube.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much for taking time to talk to us.
Yes. As well as one thing that I nearly forgot.
Okay.
We have a mobile app that we've developed for fish farming.
Okay.
So yes, that is something that is going to solve a lot of challenges in fish farming.
What's it called?
Jakdam Farm Manager app.
Okay.
Yes. So it will be live on Play Store this weekend.
This weekend?
Yeah, this weekend. It will be
you
live
heard it first here.
This weekend. Yes. And this app can help you calculate for the number of fishes you need in a particular pond. It can estimate your production budget for you, give you the amount of feed you are going to buy, the water volume you are going to need for your entire production. Okay. It will also provide you the opportunity to take inventory of your fishes, records of your mortality. Yes, so that is basically some of the things that this app can help you do.
That's innovative.
Yes.
A good one. Okay, so you said it's going to be live by the end of this month?
Yes.
Okay, we will try and then download it and then check it out.
That is fine.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.